Welcome back. We're setting off light boxes apparently.
Yes.
It's day 2 and we're glad you could join us to see what made the cut.
Very funny.
Oh my gosh.
It's
We've
been
been
a
here
long
far
time.
too long.
Yeah. Okay.
So today is Make the Cut, and we are talking to you all about your cutting tools and accessories.
Yes, that you could use.
Yep.
Lots of fun things.
So do we want to maybe start with cutting mats?
Yeah, we've got four sizes. The 6x8, which is a nice size to have right beside your machine when you're just trying to trim up little bits and pieces.
Yep.
Great to have right beside your machine. We have the 12x18. And this is Creative Grid. Sorry, I should have mentioned that.
Yep.
Okay. You've got 2 different grid diagrams on
they
these.
are double-sided,
which is important. We have 18x24.
Which she's not going to move because everything will
else
just
is
go
going to
tumbling.
fall. And 24x36, which is another big one.
Yeah.
They're great. Yeah.
They're all great sizes depending on your situation.
Where you're working. You know, the 18x24, I actually had a conversation with a lady today about it, and she had very limited space,
Yeah.
and she was going to work on her kitchen counter.
Yeah.
18x24, it was like a light bulb went off, and she said, that's literally the perfect size for the amount of space I have.
Yeah.
So it depends on what you're working with.
Yeah,
But
like I have a really large one on my cutting table in my sewing
yes.
room, but I have an 18x24 that I drag upstairs for when I don't want to be in my sewing room and I want to actually talk to my family.
Right.
Which isn't very often, so you know, it's still in like brand new condition. But I use that on my kitchen counter when I'm just doing a little bit of cutting and stuff and still want to be part of the household.
Right. So it's a good one. And it's also a good portable size for when you go to retreats or classes.
Sewing at a friend's house, whatever.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, good size.
Yep.
Okay, next.
So, well, I guess since we're talking about cutting mats, we can talk about the Cutterpillars. We've had these before. We offered the premium version, which is the light box with the self-healing cutting mat. These are fantastic if you do a lot of applique, a lot of tracing. I can't remember what else I have used this for, but I find uses for it all the time. We are offering the basic version as well. They're both the same size. They both have the same features with one exception. That
Three light.
3 or 4? 1, 2, 3.
Oh,
3. Yep.
okay.
So if you want it really bright, you can have it really bright. If you want it not so bright, just a little bit, you have that as well. If you take the self-healing cutting mat off, you have just your light box.
Yeah.
And the difference between the two
really cool.
is that you need to use this one plugged in. This one actually has a battery in it, and you can use it plugged in, or you can use it wire-free. So you don't have to have it plugged in. I think it's good for 3 to 4 hours, depending on the level of light you're using. Obviously, if the brighter it is, the less time it's going to last.
Right.
But these are great because you can put your self-healing mat right on top of it. It protects it. You can cut your fabric on it if you're having issues seeing exactly where you need to cut. This can light it a little bit from underneath. I have the premium. I bought it when we had it a couple of years ago, and I absolutely love it. But if you still wanted to get it and save a little bit of money and didn't mind using it plugged in,
And have the wired.
you could certainly get the basic as well.
Yeah, definitely.
To go along with that, we also have the brand new
rotating mat.
Look at that. That also goes on top of the Cutterpillar. You can use it. You can use it alone as well. You don't need to use it on the light box, but it has a sort of Lazy Susan base with a
There you
self-healing mat as well. So that one's a little sturdier than what comes with the actual light box. And then you can turn that around to do all of your fancy cutting. And if you need the extra light from the light box, you can pop it right on top.
If you're also doing any, whoops, look at that, any sort of layered work as well. And quite often it's instead of trying to pick up your work, and if you just want to be able to move it around gently, so it doesn't always necessarily have to be cutting.
Yeah.
It can be great for some of the wool work. You just don't want to move something because it's going to be
Absolutely.
you know, you're going to start over again, or it'll be out of alignment. We don't want that. So it's handy for both, is basically it.
Yep. So those are the Cutterpillars, and I'm just going to pop these out of the way.
Yep. Fancy items.
So we also have some brand new scissors to the shop as well. As you know, we love our Tim Holtz scissors with the micro serrated blades. There's a bit of a stock issue with them right now, so we couldn't offer them, but we also love a good pair of traditional shears as well. So with the Kai scissors, we have 4 different sizes, actually sort of 3 different sizes, and then we have a really good pair of pinking shears as well.
Yeah.
How many times have you been like, oh, I just wish I had a pair of pinking shears for this one thing, and you'll use them more often than you think you will. So we thought those would be a good thing to throw in and get you the best deal we could on them.
Great thing with pinking shears, you're doing some applique work, and you've got some, you know, around
Curved edges. Yep.
It's so nice to gently just use your pinking shears instead of having to worry about your clipping into into a seam line. So pinking shears are not, you know, that old-fashioned thought of using a pinking shear to stop something from fraying.
Which it does.
It does. They're great. But there's a lot of other uses.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes we forget about those. So that's mine.
Quite often when I'm making bags and there are curved seams, instead of clipping in and giving those relief cuts, I'll take and trim the seam allowance with the pinking shears instead. Yeah.
Yeah, it works. They work really nicely. Yeah. And because of the size of the handle, you've got some really good control because you're going through a fair bit of fabric. You want to have good control.
Yep.
Anyway, that's my story about them.
So we also have the 8-inch shears. We have those in both the left and right hand versions. So for you lefties, you don't have to worry about trying to make a pair of universal scissors work for you.
Yeah.
They're for you, they're made for you, left or right handed. With these, unfortunately, they didn't have a left or right hand option. These are their 5-inch embroidery scissors, great for using as little thread snips or for embroidery. The awesome thing about these is that because the blades are not micro serrated, you can have them sharpened when they get dull.
Yes.
So these are like forever scissors. These are your good scissors, the ones that you hang the husband up if you find him cutting cardboard with them.
Yeah.
And
your construction paper, all kinds of things like that.
And then we also have the cute little thread nips as well that you just squeeze to nip your thread. So those are and the new little seam ripper from Kai as well. This is a slightly different style seam ripper than what we've had before. You can see they have I'm hoping it'll focus. You can see they have a little blade inside, and there are safety little nibs over the blade, so you're not going to just cut yourself with it. But those are fantastic for taking out seams. It's not going to replace your traditional seam ripper, but it can make ripping out some seams a lot faster than what they would be with a seam
So
ripper.
you would use that on like a really long, for
Yeah,
example,
just
like a
slip it
border
right
piece
down.
that you've put on backwards.
Yeah,
Not that I know that from experience.
that never
but
happens.
If you did,
You'd want to
something
have
like
one
that.
of these handy.
Okay,
Yeah.
there you go. Okay.
So those come in assorted colors.
Yep.
You get what you get.
Yeah.
And yeah.
And that's that.
Yep.
There you go. Okay. You want some other snips here?
Yep.
Embroidery. Then have got the nice curve, the curve edge, and they are also just a pinch.
Yep.
With
A protective
nice
cap.
protective cap. And they're in the 4 3/4 inch. So those are really nice. And they're ergonomically, they're nice in your hand. You're not, so. And do you want to talk about Quilter Select?
Sure.
There you go.
If you are one of those who does a lot of applique, I'm actually just going to pop these out for a second. And you like the duck bill type scissors, these are going to be for you.
Yeah.
These are
That blade is amazing.
gorgeous quality, nice and polished, not too heavy, but heavy enough that you know they're not junk. And of course, all the Quilter Select items have been just fantastic quality. These are one of those things, again, that make your notes. If you are interested in having these, you'll want to watch for them on Quilter Select Day, but because this was Make the Cut Day, we had to talk about those as well. We also have, now I'm not going to be able to get them back in there. We also have the Quilter Select Rotary cutters, which come in 2 different sizes as well.
45 and 60.
And 60. And if
Good.
you like a nice, solid feeling rotary cutter, these are for you. They work quite nicely. I'm just going to grab the little Cutterpillar mat. Press the button to make sure that the blade guard can open. Cut. And then when you want to close it again, you just tap it on the back and it moves the blade guard back into place. So those are the Quilter Select Rotary cutters, and we will have those on Quilter Select Day as well, but we just wanted to sort of give you a heads up and make sure that you knew they were coming.
Right.
In case you wanted to grab yourself a new rotary cutter and were interested in those. If you don't like this style of rotary cutter, we also have the Olfa Splash in the ergonomic style, which is this one. This has an automatic blade. You squeeze the handle, it pushes the blade out. You can lock it open or closed.
But
Lots
it'll
of
automatically retract as well if you don't have that lock.
Yep.
If you're somebody that forgets and leaves your blade open.
And then we will have the 45 millimeter straight handled one as well. And that will be, I'm just going to show you the 60 mil. That's, wow, full of lint.
Yeah.
60. This is the 60 mil version, but we have it in the Pacific Blue. And it's this style as well. And we will have that on as well. We just didn't get one quite in time for the video.
Okay.
And then what else do we have?
Oh, the light.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, this is really, really something kind of cool. It's the flexible LED light by the same Cutterpillar, rechargeable. You can put this onto your actual machine, and it gives you just that extra bit of lighting that sometimes you need. Again, multi-brightness levels.
Yep.
And and it's saying it runs up to 12 hours. I don't know. Do any of us get 12 hours in a row for sewing?
Oh, yeah, I do sometimes. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yep.
You don't eat?
Sundays when I don't talk to anybody.
Okay.
It's just so,
there
so,
you
so
go.
all day long.
Great tool to have. It's going to brighten everything up. You're going to get a chance to really get a better vision in your field of vision with these. That's kind of nice.
Yeah.
Good. Very good. Flexible nut. Oh, and it's a USB charge, so that is nice.
Yes.
Okay.
And you don't have to use it on your machine either.
No,
You could certainly have it, beside you when you're appliquing by hand or cross-stitching
doing
or whatever.
any hand work.
Yep.
Yeah, it
Yep.
would be great. Okay, well that's That certainly is a nice one. I didn't realize that. That's great. Good. So we've got our mats and, I did
And our thread cutters.
Yeah.
So you've probably seen the little, I think they're, what are they called? The thread gizmo?
Yeah,
Something like that. When you're chain piecing, you have to go back and snip all the pieces apart. This uses one of your old blades. You take apart the little flower and you put an old blade in here. We have a 60 millimeter and a 45 millimeter version.
Yeah.
You put your old blade in there, you set it in the little stand, and because of the way it's shaped, you can't get your fingers in on that blade, but you can slip your pieces, your chain pieces in to cut them on that old blade. So there's you don't have to throw out your blades or waste them. There's another use for them.
Yep. And it's quick if you've done chain piecing and you've got that parade of them flying around.
Kind of like the toilet paper hanging from your shoe.
It's very quick and easy to whip through them instead of using your scissors. So that's another really nice item.
So I think.
But these are some fun things.
Yeah.
A lot of fun things.
Yeah.
I think we should play the game. Let's guess how many of these things we don't have.
Like us personally?
Yeah.
Yeah, because those are brand new.
So there you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
I'm going to have one after this video, though. And
That's
probably the light.
Yeah, I like the light.
And definitely those pinking shears. Yeah.
That just shows you how excited we get about all of these things.
I hope my husband's watching.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
He wouldn't be paying attention anyway.
No.
All right.
Okay.
We'll be back again tomorrow with more goodies.
Thanks, everybody. Have a great day.
Bye.
Bye.